The Nigerian healthcare system has suffered several downfalls, as statistics from World Bank shows that Nigeria accounts for 14% of all annual maternal deaths worldwide, second only to India, which has 17%. The Save 1 Million Lives initiative was launched in October 2012 to improve maternal and child health. My guest on this week's episode of the program talks about the status of the project over the last 5 years. Hello there and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I'm Ibrahim Adra. The World Bank observed that Nigeria accounts for more than 900,000 women and children who die every year from largely preventable causes. Similarly, the nation accounts for 13% of all global deaths of children under the age of 5. Again, second only to India at 21%. This week's edition of the program looks at the government's Saving 1 Million Lives project. But first, what are the stories that made the headline within the week in the nation's capital?
On Monday, President Muhammadu Buhari left Abuja for London, where he is meeting with his doctors for a routine medical checkup. According to a statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President, Malam Garba Shehu, and I quote, "In the course of the technical stopover for aircraft maintenance in London on his way back from Washington, the President had a meeting with his doctor. The doctor requested the President to return for a meeting, which he agreed to do. The President returned to the country on Friday, May the 11th. The federal government has recovered about 7.8 billion naira, $378 million and £27,800 through the whistleblowers policy launched by President Muhammadu Buhari in December 2016. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo disclosed this at the opening of the Open Government Partnership Week. Professor Osinbajo said the presidential initiative on continuous audit, which oversees the whistleblowers policy in the Ministry of Finance, has also helped the government save over 200 billion by eliminating ghost workers.
The federal government also established a presidential initiative on continuous audit, PICA, housed in the Federal Ministry of Finance, to clean up the federal payroll and pension system across all the ministries, departments and agencies. PICA's work in this regard has helped the federal government save more than 200 billion naira by eliminating ghost workers.
Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has revealed that the number of tax-compliant Nigerians increased from 14 million in May 2017 to 19 million this year. Speaking as the special guest of honor at the 2018 edition of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria Conference, Professor Yemi Osinbajo said that as of December 2017, only 943 Nigerians paid self-assessed taxes of less than 1 million naira. He said the administration had taken steps to curtail tax evasion by multinational companies, as well as prevent citizens from hiding their assets abroad.
We're also taking seriously measures to curtail tax evasion by multinational companies. I know that this is one of those issues that the Minister of Finance in particular is very passionate about. We must not hold the ordinary citizen to account for tax payments, while allowing the powerful multinationals to capitalize on their size and smarts to slip away without scrutiny. We're also determined to ensure that no one is left at the mercy of unfair tax regimes. To this end, we've extended the reach of our double taxation avoidance agreements. There's no doubt that much has been achieved, by the unprecedented push to rewrite the tax narrative in Nigeria, to ensure that everyone, citizens, businesses, investors, tax professionals, governments, all derive maximum benefit from the system. Earlier, I noted that as of May 2017, only 14 million economically active Nigerians paid taxes. I'm pleased to note that the number is now in excess of 19 million and still growing.
The federal government has directed the Ministry of Health to step up emergency surveillance activities at all land and airport borders in the country. Briefing State House correspondents after the weekly Federal Executive Council, which was presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, told State House correspondents that the measure is to keep Nigerians safe from Ebola outbreak, which is currently in Congo.
Of concern to Federal Executive Council is the outbreak of Ebola in Democratic Republic of Congo. As you might be aware, over the last 1 month, the DRC recorded 19 suspected cases of viral hemorrhagic fever and lost 16 of the cases. But what is also particularly important was on Monday, blood samples from 5 patients in DRC, particularly in a particular district of DRC, two of the 5 cases, Ebola was actually confirmed. And Federal Executive Council has now directed the Federal Ministry of Health to step up emergency surveillance activities at all land and airport borders so that we can actually keep Nigerians safe. What we'll do is to set up an emergency operation center. Not only that, we'll be screening incoming passengers, particularly passengers from DRC and neighboring countries. We will also ensure that we step up all activities. We'll be screening people coming in so that we will not be caught unawares.
Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council has warned federal universities not to charge tuition fees, as it is against the law. The Minister of State for Education, Professor Anthony Walker, made this known while speaking to State House correspondents after the cabinet meeting. Professor Walker disclosed that the council discussed the school fees being charged by various universities and noted that, as of law, no federal university should charge tuition fees. The minister also said the National Universities Commission had been directed to clarify and update the council on the matter.
No federal university should charge tuition fees. That's the law. And we understand some federal universities now charge fees per course units. And we're going to make sure we investigate that properly and make sure it stops. And, but students can pay other auxiliary fees, but not in excess. Various university councils and managements should be able to fix what fees students should pay that is affordable and acceptable to the students.